Hi, Shae Russell here, editor of the Daily Reckoning Australia. Now, I'm getting a lot of text messages from friends and family at the moment wanting to know why the US dollar price of gold isn't higher. Now, at the time of making this video, it was sitting at $1,694 per ounce. But they kept, in these messages I'm receiving, they keep pointing out that they don't understand why it isn't staying above $1,700. As they keep saying to me in the messages I'm getting is, the markets are falling apart. We've got a coordinated global stimulus effort happening around the world. The Australian government's pumped a couple of $100 billion into the economy. The Federal Reserve Bank is essentially running a QE infinity program by saying whatever it takes to prop up the economy. Surely, they say to me, these are catalysts to send the gold price soaring in US dollar terms. As you know, basically governments around the world are just, papering over those cracks in the financial system, hoping, it doesn't fall down on their watch. Now, yes, normally these would be catalysts to send the gold price higher. But one of the things crimping the price of gold right now is actually the price of oil. It sounds a little crazy, but there is a rather loose correlation between the two, and it's definitely worth noting. And the reason for that is because of what it tells you about the economy right now. Now, on Tuesday morning, you might have been like me, and you might have been completely shocked to wake up and discover that the US price of crude on the futures market not only traded down to zero, but it traded beyond zero into negative territory. Now, let me say that another way. The West Texas Intermediate May futures contract went to zero, but was then allowed to trade naturally, I might add, down to minus US $40 per barrel at its lowest point. At one point, the WTI May futures contract was down as much as 321%. Now, that's a phenomenal amount, and may I just point out that that is completely unprecedented and never happened in the history of futures contracts. So, although I think we just need to get used to saying unprecedented, because a lot of unprecedented things seem to keep happening now. Now, the reason the WTI contract fell so heavily, so fast, and so far is because there is worries that there is a supply glut in oil in the US, and that nobody wants oil. And that is true. There is definitely far more supply than demand. However, if we look at the Brent crude price, that didn't fall as far. And last time I checked, that was sitting at $25 US per ounce. So that one hasn't been hit as hard. However, the price of gold and oil are linked. And the reason why I say that is with oil prices falling so far, that suggests that deflationary forces are in play in the economy right now. Now, what I mean by deflationary forces is that simply means that the prices of goods and services are expected to get cheaper in the short term. Now, when you've got the price of energy, which is crude, falling so low, that's going to crimp any rally in gold. And it's simply because while gold does rise in deflationary periods, it only rises a small amount. So with the price of energy is sort of acting on a handbrake of any of these gold price rallies that we're seeing. Now, as long as oil stays low, and for the moment I can't think of any reason why it's going to start shooting up. So if you look at the demand for oil, it's basically snuffed out everywhere around the world. Nobody's flying. Hardly anybody's driving anywhere. I myself have had a petrol tank last me nearly 8 weeks. The demand for energy is diminishing. Ships aren't moving, planes aren't moving, buses aren't moving. The one resource that the world is reliant on is now, in abundance, and we don't need it right now. There's also nothing in the short term that's going to suggest that oil is suddenly going to skyrocket. So I want you just to remember that when you look at the US dollar gold price and you wonder why the rally isn't $20 or $30 per ounce stronger, it's got a lot to do with the price of energy right now is just holding it back. Now, I don't know how long the price of energy is going to stay low, but I do know that it's just going to crimp any rally in the US dollar gold price for now. Well, that's all I've got time for today. I'll be back later in the week with more.